We are so incredibly fortunate to have such a thriving arts and culture scene here in the township of Scugog.
The arts contribute to tourism in Scugog in a wide variety of ways.
We have a beautiful, beautiful town on the shores of Lake Scugog. We have fabulous shopping, great restaurants and dining, wonderful art scene.
And people come to enjoy that, but they like to be surprised. And so when they come here and they're surprised to find that we've got live music in our alley, or a live theater event going on in the back parking lot, or a pop-up Sunday market going on in our parking lot.
Arts add to the uniqueness of a community, the well-being of its residents, and often the quality of life that exists in the community.
Whether our residents or our visitors are attending a performance by Theatre on the Ridge, or they're sitting and enjoying a show in our very own Town Hall Theatre, we really do have something here for everyone.
Economic surveys show that visitors spend time and dollars in the shops, in restaurants, in overnight stays. In my opinion, the arts is a huge driver for Scugog tourism, and thereby a huge economic driver.
I'm Carrie Nicholson. I'm the Artistic Director of Theatre on the Ridge and one of the co-founders of the company. I have been living in Durham, in Scugog and Port Perry for over 20 years, and that's the length of my involvement in the theatre community here. The transition to creating a professional theatre company here in Scugog and Durham came from my desire to further my own growth as a theatre artist, and also from my belief that local talent, and there's huge amounts of local talent here, shouldn't have to leave their home community to practice and be employed in their craft. And I felt that the time had come to be able to bring professional theatre to Durham and Scugog.
Theatre on the Ridge in our community has been one of our greatest supporters. They are extremely involved in ensuring that our tourism continues to thrive. They are members of our local arts organizations and our municipal tourism committees, and they are consistently involved in events that are taking place throughout the community, and we are always incredibly grateful for the support that they offer.
The quality of the productions here at Theatre on the Ridge are very professional. There are some plays that I have seen here the last couple of years where I would put them on the stages of some of the theatres in Toronto.
Well, Theatre on the Ridge is a really great and important addition to our community. It's very high quality professional theatre.
Theatre on the Ridge is the only professional theatre company in Durham Region that's a nonprofit as well, and they hire and pay their actors. They commission work about this community. They do work and plan to do more work written by Indigenous writers. They want to share what the community has as its history. So often the plays are history-based as well. So they cover quite a wide range of work.
Not only do they have productions taking place in the summertime, they've also got productions taking place year-round.
From their scary Halloween walks to their podcasts, which has been an amazing initiative for them to put together.
This is really important that arts practitioners are able to earn income from their practice.
For our 2020 summer season, which would have been our 6th summer festival season, we had the lineup ready and announced in the early fall of 2019. And by March, we were literally into the soft marketing of this summer season. We'd announced the plays, we had sold pre-season tickets, and then the rumblings of COVID started to give us pause, and we started watching quite intently.
Today, I'm ordering the mandatory closure of all non-essential workplaces in the province of Ontario.
By April, because it wasn't going away. COVID wasn't going away in a few weeks. We weren't going to be able to rehearse. And unfortunately, by April 16th, we announced the cancellation of the 2020 festival as we planned it. And that was hard. It was a grieving and accepting the loss of something that wasn't going to happen.
COVID's been a challenging time for everybody around the world. I find that here in Scugog, everybody retreated for that concentrated time frame at the beginning. It allowed a lot of people to think and plan.
While many live theaters saw their summer seasons being impacted by COVID-19, Theatre on the Ridge decided to face the challenges head on rather than allow the pandemic to halt production completely.
We had to do something, and I was really heartened by the number of our artists who've connected with us and worked with us over the last few years on how they themselves were initiating how do we stay connected, how do we communicate. And from that, we developed some great programs, a podcast series, online coaching, ideas for tutorials, things that we could help transfer us and keep us connected to our audiences and our patrons. We called it the Something from Nothing season, and we had no idea what we were going to be able to do.
And that first retreating gave everybody a chance to say, yeah, I'm not letting this knock me down. I'm getting up, I'm gonna dust things off, and what are we gonna do?
So we are incredibly lucky to have had Theatre on the Ridge continue to ensure that the show must go on during these challenging times. They are continuing to employ these young emerging artists, and they're continuing to provide our residents and our visitors with entertainment.
We still had the opportunity to hire our young artists and our production people, and we felt, let's do it. There we were the night before selling tickets, making the final call on July 20th for a season that was opening July 28th.
Well, for me personally, what's really intrigued me about Theatre on the Ridge and the fact that it is a professional company, they're looking to employ young actors right now out of professional theatre schools and to watch their particular growth. So that's been quite exciting to see.
Our decision to go forward with some kind of season this year was influenced by one of them being the need to keep making theatre. Our industry was destroyed in less than 30 days. So to be able to offer that opportunity when the funds were available was something we did not want to waste. I've never been called brave or courageous before, so it told me that there was a need for us to do something, and I'm so glad we did. Knowing we weren't alone, and knowing that the community was working really hard to not let this take us down. All of a sudden, arts had some place. Arts was being leaned on as a support system, and the area, other sectors were really supportive of that. And for us here in Scugog, the tourism sector has been really supportive of that because we see ourselves as being a real valuable contribution to local cultural tourism.
It really shows that they're helping to support the individuals that may not be ready to get out and enjoy live theatre quite yet. So that is really wonderful of them to have put that together.
We adapted to this new reality by throwing the rule book out the window.
We got the cooperation of a whole bunch of our neighbors here in our business district to allow us to do live theater out in a parking lot. And they sat out there spaced apart with, everybody praying that we have a small audience so everybody's safe.
Some of our greatest challenges was the constant change. You just really had to go with the flow, and that was hard because we were all wanting something sure to hold on to at the beginning.
The actors having to rehearse on Zoom was astounding that they weathered that.
On average, we would have probably 2 Zoom calls a day, and they would each be between 2 and 4 hours.
It was almost like you had done script work for like a month and a half. So you knew everything that you need to do, and you just needed someone to be there in person to actually do it. So
we were like stuck on Zoom.
Yeah.
We were like, we can't do anything else until we're literally in person.
It was draining, and we truly didn't know what day it was some days.
The resiliency of the Theatre on the Ridge amidst the ever-changing COVID protocols is to be commended, and I truly don't know how they did it, but it's awesome, and I'm very proud of them.
I'm very impressed with the work we did. I'm really impressed that we created an entire play over Zoom.
One of the things that has really impressed me about Theatre on the Ridge during COVID-19 was they have implemented the health and safety protocols from the Ontario government. For example, we have to wear masks during each of the performances. The audience are spaced 6 feet apart as well, and the actors and the performers are at least 6 feet away from the audience too. So that made me feel quite safe when I saw some of the outdoor production.
Everybody had their own little pod, 2 or 3 or 1, and all the precautions were in place, and I felt very safe.
We were distanced, very small groups. It worked out really well.
We stopped in at one of the patios and had drinks after the show because I come from the area, and that was just so delightful because it was socially distanced and just very nice.
We probably for the first time felt an integral part of people's experiences in the cultural community.
An opportunity to go out and see people even in that context was really welcomed, and I found myself enjoying that experience even more because of that than I thought I would.
I'm a theatre goer, and I was missing my Stratford and my Shaw and the Toronto, and it was just so lovely to get out and get to a live performance.
The power of theater is experiencing something with a group of people. There's a kind of a synergy that occurs, and I felt that like laughing together or even being moved with a group of people in unison made the themes and the performance resonate more profoundly.
When you can go out into the community and still have that theatre experience, it's engaging for people. It's a respite from the dreary news of the day.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to applaud the Theatre on the Ridge for continuing to stay strong during all of this. We are very fortunate to have them as part of our community.
I might be a little biased here, but I do think Scugog's an amazing place to live and play.
It's just going to be a really great reunion of sorts.
We do continue to plan some great initiatives as we move into 2021, and we hope that we can execute them in the same way that we used to before.
We will have something new for you to see, and look forward to welcoming you again and again to our community.
It may be well spaced out in a larger venue. It may be a super small audience, and you'll have a lot of fun, and you'll see some great plays.
We did it, and now we're taking stock, and we're going to do it again next year.